Here we are, guys, day 2 of the Depression Reboot Challenge. First of all, just want to thank you for the support from video 1 and the comments that you left. I really do appreciate that. And a couple of things I do want to mention from the comments over there, talking about different modalities to use. Listen, at the end of the day, there's a million modalities out there. It's up to you to figure out what works for you. You know, and there's different forms of depression. This isn't for me like a depression of like biology or something like that. You know, like when people ask me like, what do I eat? You know, what's my regimen? For the most part, I'm pretty blessed to have a pretty good regimen. You know, my wife's a naturopath doctor. I've been in the health space for a while. You know, I get my markers checked every 3 months to 4 months. So for the most part, it's not a dietary thing. You know, it's more of a, for me, like emotional, cyclical thing. Has probably something to do with the seasons changing as well. I do get sad, so seasonal affection disorder. That's why I use a lot of the biohacking devices or light therapy. Of course, the best therapy is get the fuck out of winter and go somewhere down south. It's not an option right now in my life currently. But yeah, man, like listen, it's up to you to figure out what works for you, you know? And obviously you want to start at ground zero if you're suffering some form of depression. You know, if you haven't checked out how your diet is, diet does play a role, you know? If your diet's not good, it does affect how you think. It does affect everything in your body. So I'm a firm believer in subtracting as opposed to adding. And so looking at your life and subtracting everything until you're at nil, and then slowly introducing stuff and seeing how you respond to that. Remember, there's no panacea. There's no black and white. Everybody's different. Everybody's unique. Everybody has unique context, where they are in their life, what position they're in life, what's going on in their life matters for everything. So subtract as opposed to add. And then you work off of that, right? You build off of that. So, you know, you take away all the bad diet that you're eating. Most people eat like standard American diet, sad. And then you start adding certain stuff, or you start playing around with different diets. I just don't care what you eat, tell you the truth. All these people, vegan, keto. That's an irrelevant question in my mind, to tell you the truth. What matters the most is finding something that works for you, but the key is it has to be sustainable. Like, if it's not on autopilot, it's not going to work. Remember, I've made videos in the past. I personally don't believe in free will. People are pre-programmed to behave a certain way. And so just like softwares and substrates, so if software, it's in hardware, it's going to behave a certain way. Software is not all of a sudden going to behave exponentially different because it's in a substrate. They can only behave a certain way within this hardware. And so the human body is the same thing. And that's why I'm a firm believer, you got to control your environment, man. You have to control your environment. It's so fucking important. This is part of my 30-day reboot, you know. Since, you know, I am affected by SAD, this is for me more of a kind of like, I guess, you can call it emotional, spiritual depression. It's not a biological one. And just getting out in nature, some form of nature, grounding, connecting, doing some joint mobility. Just finished watching the sunrise over here. You know, nice half an hour, 45-minute sunrise, and get the blood flowing. And you know, but yeah, just want to kind of give you guys that message at the beginning. And today, chose a different park over here, and I'm gonna do a bunch of calisthenics today. So we're gonna do a bunch of push-ups and maybe some shadow boxing, and might finish off with some planks depending if the ground is wet or not. And here we go. Woo-hoo. All right, so this is just simple push-ups. I'm doing 20 reps for 10 sets. Get the blood flowing. They're not hard. It's nice. So that's round 1, got 9 more to go. And as I mentioned before, guys, you gotta figure out what makes your software work the best. You know, depending on your situation in your life, maybe you're a busy parent, can't really wake up without disturbing the kids. All right, figure out something that you can do. You know, I think a lot of people try to paint, whether it's depression or anxiety or any you know, symptoms, they try to paint it in a box. You can't define it by a box. There are common patterns, yes, But everyone's different, everyone's unique, everyone has different software, everyone has a different environment they live in. And so, just like any good scientist, if you have different software, different environment, your approach is different, completely different. So you have to experiment and figure out what works for you. You know, all these gurus out there talking about different things, it's all bullshit, man. Listen, there's science, yes, 100%, man. I'm a science geek. I love fucking science. But there's science, theoretical. I want to say theoretical. There's science for, let's say, research. There's clinical practice. There's anecdotal. They all come together. They overlap, just like anything in life. And you can listen to people saying, even for example, this, you know, this is what works for me. I've experimented with everything, especially for this form, kind of like depression or malaise, I should say. This is what works for me after trying many, many different things. So it's up to you to figure out what works for you. It might be, like I said, fixing your diet. You might be doing biohacking stuff, you know. If you're up here in Canada, I would recommend getting your fucking vitamin D levels checked, omega levels checked. Look for information, you know, work with a good ND, a naturopathic doctor, a functional medicine doctor, and then figure out, you know, create a sustainable dietary lifestyle, dietary, exercise, spirituality, etc. You know, it's a trifecta. You know, you can't have one with the other. So just diet alone. Diet alone isn't gonna fix your shit. It's crazy. Everything has to be in order. But it's about experimenting, not taking everything for granted as in like X always equals X. It's not the case. There's different shades of X, different spectrums of X. And so here we go. We'll do some next exercises. All right, the themes are push-ups today. So I'm gonna do now decline inverted push-ups off that park bench over there. Reps, 10 sets. Yeah, I always like 10 sets. It's simple. Nice rest period between, 45 seconds, give or take. You know, these aren't crazy workouts. This is just getting the blood flowing, you know, and getting some vasodilation going. But also more or less connecting, you know. I'm wearing these, but there's no music. It's just noise cancellation. Kind of more meditative for me, hearing all the noise around me. But yeah, here we go. We're gonna do one more set for this, and I'm not gonna show you guys all the time. It's boring as fuck. But one more, and then we're off to the next thing. You guys got to see this. Walking the next location. But 1 second. See that? Sun's coming up. This is what I'm talking about. Reset, man. This is what does it for me. Every morning, seeing the sunrise like this. It's fucking magical. Well, guys, that's it for today. Yeah, nice 45-minute session in the morning. And it's day 2. Like I said, I want you guys to hold me accountable. You know, we got like another 28 days to go. But so far, so good. You know, just staring at the sun over here. Wow, man. It's breathtaking through the clouds over here. But listen, man, like I said, the reason I'm doing this video is we're all going through stuff, and I just want to share with you what works for me. This is like not a new pattern for me. I've had it before. Cyclical, comes and goes, maybe on a yearly or 2-year cadence. It's not like it's like every couple of months. It's a rarity, but it does happen. There's a history of that with me. And so yeah, hopefully this helps, man. And listen, any of you guys, if you guys need any help with anything, doesn't matter what it is, man, reach out, man. More than happy to help you guys. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.